Year 2637. The entire galaxy watched as humanity died. Not one human ship remained. Not one human city survived. Earth, the beautiful blue planet, had become nothing more than a frozen grave drifting silently through space. The Galactic Council declared humanity officially extinct. Alien news channels celebrated. The dangerous human race is finally gone. The galaxy is safe again. Monuments were built to celebrate the fall of Earth. History books called it the shortest civilization ever. For 50 years, no one spoke the name humanity until one ordinary cargo ship crossed the forbidden edge of the solar system. Its captain expected to find a dead world. Instead, his sensors detected millions of power signatures beneath Earth's surface. He thought the scanner was broken. Then, the frozen oceans began to crack. Entire mountain ranges moved. The moon split open like a giant mechanical shell. Thousands, then millions, of black warships slowly rose from beneath Earth's crust. None of them existed in any galactic database. The cargo captain couldn't breathe. His hands shook as he transmitted one desperate message to the Galactic Council. Earth is alive. Before anyone could answer, a deep voice echoed across every communication channel in the galaxy. Calm, cold, unmistakably human. You celebrated too early. You buried humanity without checking the grave. At that exact moment, every military satellite in the galaxy suddenly went offline. Ancient defense stations, believed destroyed centuries ago, activated one by one. Across thousands of alien worlds, the night sky turned blue. One sentence appeared on every screen. Humanity has returned, and this time, we weren't asking for peace. We came back for justice. The year was 2637. For over 200 years, humanity had lived among the stars. Earth had become one of the fastest-growing civilizations in the Galactic Alliance. Human engineers built the most efficient star drives. Human scientists solved problems that had puzzled ancient races for centuries, and human explorers reached sectors that no one else dared to enter. But success has a price. The stronger humanity became, the more the galaxy feared it. Officially, the Galactic Alliance called humans valuable partners. Unofficially, they called them the future threat. Inside the Grand Council chamber, the leaders of the 7 most powerful empires gathered in complete secrecy. No cameras. No journalists, no records, only one topic filled the room. Earth, a towering alien emperor stood before the council. If humanity continues advancing at this speed, he said, within 50 years they will surpass every empire in this chamber. Another leader replied, then we don't have 50 years. Silence filled the room. Finally, the oldest member of the council slowly spoke. We end humanity. No one objected. The decision was unanimous. Operation Silent Extinction began that very night. On Earth, life continued as normal. Children laughed in parks. Families gathered for dinner. Scientists celebrated another breakthrough in clean fusion energy. No one knew that thousands of alien warships had already entered the solar system under advanced cloaking technology. At exactly 2 o'clock Universal Time Coordinated, the first orbital defense satellite exploded. 30 seconds later, every communications satellite vanished from radar. Then the sky turned red. General Ethan Cross rushed into Earth's Global Defense Command. Report. An officer's face was pale. Unknown fleet detected. Numbers? The officer swallowed hard. Over 300,000 warships. The room froze. Earth's entire defense fleet numbered fewer than 20,000. Another officer shouted, they're opening fire. Without warning, the night sky erupted into light. Thousands of plasma beams crashed into orbital stations. Space elevators collapsed. Defense platforms exploded one after another. Fragments of burning metal rained through Earth's atmosphere like meteors. Across the planet, emergency sirens screamed. People ran into the streets, staring at the heavens. Parents held their children. No one understood what was happening. General Cross looked at the tactical map. Red icons covered the solar system. There were simply too many enemy ships. Then the president entered the command room. His face was calm. Almost too calm, he handed General Cross a small black device. "It's time." Cross looked at it in silence. He had hoped this day would never come. For 30 years, only 5 people on Earth had known about this device. It was never meant to be used, but humanity had always prepared for the worst. Cross inserted the key into the central command console. A mechanical voice echoed through the underground bunker. Project Phoenix confirmed. Humanity's survival protocol activated. Deep beneath Earth's surface, massive blast doors, hidden for decades, slowly began to open, far below the oceans. Ancient shipyards came to life. Inside the moon, millions of dormant machines awakened simultaneously. But none of this could be seen from space. To the alien fleets, Earth looked helpless. Within 6 hours, every major city appeared destroyed. The alien armada bombarded the planet without mercy. When the attack finally ended, the blue world was covered in smoke and ash. The Galactic Council celebrated. News channels across the galaxy announced the same headline: "Humanity has been erased." Fireworks lit the skies of countless alien capitals. Statues were built to commemorate the victory. History books were rewritten before the ashes of Earth had even cooled. The galaxy believed the human race was gone forever. But hidden nearly 5 kilometers beneath the Earth's crust, inside a city no alien had ever discovered, General Ethan Cross stood before more than 50 million survivors. Men, women, children, scientists, engineers, soldiers. They were alive. The room was silent. Cross looked at the people who had lost everything. Then he spoke only 7 words. "They think humanity is dead." A faint smile appeared on his face. "Let's keep it that way." Far above them, the alien fleets departed the solar system in triumph. None of them noticed a tiny blue light beginning to pulse deep inside Earth's core, the first heartbeat of humanity's revenge. The galaxy celebrated for weeks. Across thousands of worlds, fireworks filled the skies. The Galactic Council proudly announced that the human problem had finally been solved. Schools began teaching children that humanity had been arrogant, too ambitious, too dangerous to be allowed among the stars. Earth became nothing more than a warning in history books, a dead planet, a forgotten civilization. But the greatest lie in galactic history had just begun. 5 kilometers beneath Earth's shattered surface, life continued. The underground city, known only by its codename Sanctuary Zero, stretched for nearly 3,000 kilometers beneath the planet. It wasn't just a bunker. It was an entire civilization. Artificial suns illuminated massive cities hidden inside gigantic underground caverns. Forests grew beneath crystal domes. Rivers flowed through engineer valleys. Children attended schools. Scientists continued their research. Factories never stopped working. The enemy had destroyed Earth's surface, but they had never touched its heart. General Ethan Cross stood inside the Central Command Hall. Before him floated a giant hologram of the galaxy. Every alien empire, every military base, every shipyard, every secret route, everything was mapped. Dr. Sarah Chun, humanity's greatest AI engineer, walked toward him. "The casualty report is complete." Cross remained silent. She continued. "Surface population loss. Over 9 billion. The room became completely silent. Every officer lowered their head. Families, friends, entire cities, gone forever. One young officer clenched his fists. "We should attack now." Cross slowly looked at him. "No." The officer was shocked. "They murdered our people." Cross nodded. "I know. So why are we waiting?" Cross enlarged the galaxy map. Red circles appeared around every major alien empire. "They think the war is over." "That is our greatest weapon." Years earlier, long before the invasion, human scientists had intercepted strange transmissions between the 7 ruling empires. The messages revealed a terrifying truth. The Alliance had secretly planned humanity's destruction for decades. Earth had only one advantage: time. Instead of confronting the galaxy, humanity disappeared. They built hidden shipyards beneath the oceans, factories inside the moon, research laboratories beneath Antarctica. secret colonies beneath Mars. Everything was designed for one purpose. If Earth ever fell, humanity would survive. Dr. Sarachin activated another hologram. Millions of tiny blue lights appeared across the map. Cross smiled. The alien empires believed they had destroyed every human ship. They were wrong. Those blue lights represented thousands of hidden listening stations spread across the galaxy. For 50 years, humanity watched every conversation, every military movement, every political decision, every secret. Nothing escaped them. Humanity wasn't gone. Humanity was learning. Meanwhile, inside the Grand Galactic Council, the 7 emperors celebrated their greatest victory. The Supreme Chancellor raised a glass to eternal peace. The chamber erupted in applause. None of them noticed a tiny maintenance drone silently repairing a damaged wall. It looked ordinary, harmless, ignored. But hidden inside that drone was humanity's most advanced surveillance AI, Aegis. It watched everything, recorded everything, and quietly transmitted every word back to Earth. Deep beneath Sanctuary Zero, Aegis spoke for the first time in 50 years. Its calm voice echoed through the command center. Galactic surveillance complete. Enemy confidence level 99.8%. Probability of detecting humanity 0.03%. General Cross looked at the massive underground fleet waiting inside Earth's hidden caverns. More than 100,000 warships stood ready, each one far more advanced than the ships humanity had possessed before the invasion. Every day, more were being built. He turned toward the engineers working around the clock. How long until the fleet is ready? The chief engineer answered without hesitation. 30 more years. Cross smiled. We waited 50. We can wait 30 more. Then his expression became cold. When we return, we won't return for revenge. We'll return to end the empire that tried to erase humanity. Far above, the galaxy slept peacefully. They believed humanity had become history. They had no idea. History was preparing to knock on their door. 50 years. For half a century, the galaxy believed humanity had become nothing more than a forgotten chapter in history. Children grew up learning that Earth had been destroyed because humans were too dangerous. Museums displayed broken pieces of human spacecraft as trophies. Alien tour guides laughed while pointing toward the dead solar system. There, they would say, that is where humanity made its last mistake. No one questioned the story, because no one knew the truth. Deep beneath Earth's surface, 5 kilometers below the ruins of the old world, humanity was not surviving. It was evolving. Sanctuary Zero had become the largest underground civilization ever created. Artificial suns illuminated vast cities carved into the Earth's mantle. Towering factories worked without stopping. Children who had never seen the real sky dreamed of one day reclaiming it. Every citizen had the same goal: return to the stars. Inside the central command chamber, General Ethan Cross stood before a massive holographic map of the galaxy. Beside him stood Dr. Sarachin. Status report, Cross said. Dr. Chin looked at the glowing display. Current human population, 238 million. Food production stable. Energy reserves at maximum capacity. Fleet construction. She paused, then smiled. Completed. The room erupted into applause. For 50 years, humanity had built in silence. Now, their work was finished. General Cross entered the largest underground hangar ever constructed. The gigantic doors slowly opened. Everyone standing there fell silent. Before them stretched an ocean of warships. Thousands, then tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands. There was no end. The lights reflected across black armored hulls, stretching farther than the eye could see. At the center of the fleet stood humanity's greatest creation, a flagship so enormous it looked like a moving city. Its name glowed in brilliant blue letters, HFS Resurrection. The ship was nearly 500 kilometers long, powered by a next-generation quantum core. It carried enough firepower to destroy an entire Imperial fleet by itself. An engineer whispered, "We've been preparing for 50 years. Cross looked at the endless fleet. "No, we've been preparing for this." since the day humanity first looked at the stars. At that very moment, millions of kilometers away, tiny objects drifted silently through deep space. To alien sensors, they looked like ordinary asteroids. But they weren't. They were humanity's hidden surveillance satellites. For 50 years, they had watched every movement of the Galactic Council, every fleet, every secret meeting, every military experiment. Nothing escaped them. Suddenly, one satellite intercepted an encrypted transmission from the Grand Council. It immediately forwarded the message to Earth. Aegis decoded it in less than 1 second. A red warning flashed across every screen inside the command center. Top secret enemy transmission. General Cross opened the file. The recording showed the 7 emperors sitting around a black crystal. One emperor spoke. "Humanity is dead. The galaxy finally belongs to us." Another emperor smiled. "Now, we begin conquering every remaining independent civilization." A map appeared. More than 300 peaceful worlds were marked for invasion. Cross slowly closed the recording. The room was completely silent. One young officer stepped forward. "Sir, if we wait any longer, billions will die." Cross looked at every officer in the room. For 50 years, humanity had hidden in darkness. For 50 years, they had watched others suffer. He took a deep breath. The waiting is over. He walked toward the central command console and placed his hand on the activation panel. The AI Aegis spoke in its calm mechanical voice. "Global fleet activation confirmed. 1 million warships standing by, awaiting final command." Cross looked toward the ceiling, as if he could see the stars beyond the rock above. He smiled for the first time in 50 years. Opened the launch gates. Massive blast doors began to shake. Deep beneath the oceans, hidden engines roared to life. Inside the moon, ancient shipyards awakened. Across the underground cities, every alarm echoed with the same message. Humanity returns tomorrow. Far above, the galaxy slept peacefully, completely unaware that history was about to change forever. The galaxy had forgotten one simple truth. A hunter is most dangerous when everyone believes it is dead. At exactly 6 o'clock Galactic Standard Time, a lone merchant ship entered the abandoned solar system. Its captain, Cale Vorn, belonged to the Archon Trade Guild. His mission was simple: salvage ancient human technology from the ruins of Earth. The solar system had been declared a restricted zone for 50 years. No one came here anymore. No one expected to find anything alive. As Cale's ship crossed the orbit of Neptune, his scanners suddenly flashed red. Unknown energy signature detected. Cale frowned. "Run another scan." The ship's AI answered immediately. Scan confirmed. "Source: Planet Earth." Cale laughed nervously. "Impossible. Earth is dead." Then his entire ship began to shake, not from an attack, from a vibration that seemed to travel through space itself. He looked toward Earth. The frozen planet was glowing. A faint blue light spread beneath its cracked surface like veins of electricity. Seconds later, the oceans began to move. Mountains trembled. Continents shifted. Cale stared through the cockpit window. "What is happening?" Then he saw it. The Atlantic Ocean split apart. A colossal metallic structure slowly rose from the depths. It was not a ship. It was a space fortress, nearly 600 kilometers long. Before Cale could recover, the Pacific Ocean erupted. Another fortress emerged. Then Antarctica opened. Gigantic launch towers rose from beneath the ice. The Himalayas cracked apart. Entire mountain ranges folded outward like mechanical doors. Millions of engines ignited together. The sky above Earth turned blue. Cale's hands trembled. No. This can't be real. One after another, human warships launched into orbit. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. The number kept rising. There were so many ships that Earth itself almost disappeared behind them. The moon suddenly cracked open. Massive armored plates folded away. Hidden inside was humanity's greatest creation, the HFS Resurrection, a flagship so enormous that it cast a shadow across half the moon. its engines lit with brilliant blue fire. Every nearby asteroid reflected its light. Kale forgot to breathe. His emergency beacon activated automatically. Within minutes, every military headquarters in the galaxy received the same live transmission. The image showed Earth, alive, surrounded by an endless fleet. The Galactic Council dismissed it as a fake, until thousands of independent satellites confirmed the impossible. Earth had returned. Panic spread instantly. Emergency alarms echoed across every capital world. The 7 emperors rushed into the Grand Council chamber. One of them shouted, "How many ships?" An intelligence officer answered with a shaking voice, "Our system stopped counting. After 1 million. Silence. Complete silence. The same council that had celebrated humanity's extinction 50 years earlier now stared at the tactical display in disbelief. One emperor whispered, "We destroyed them." Another replied, "No, we created them." At that very moment, every communication screen across the galaxy flickered. Civilian televisions, military command centers, cargo ships, orbital stations, even personal communication devices. One image appeared everywhere. General Ethan Cross. His hair had turned gray. The scars on his face told the story of 50 years underground, but his eyes burned with the same determination. He looked directly into the camera. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he spoke. His voice was calm, steady, unforgettable. "You called us dangerous. You were right. You tried to erase humanity. You failed. You celebrated over our graves, without checking if we were still breathing." He paused. Behind him, more human warships continued launching into orbit. "We did not return for revenge. We returned to end your empire." The transmission ended. No threats, no shouting, just silence. But that silence terrified the galaxy more than any weapon ever could. Deep inside the Grand Council chamber, the oldest emperor slowly sat down. His hands were shaking. For the first time in his 1,000-year reign, he felt fear, real fear, because he finally understood the mistake they had made 50 years ago. They had not destroyed humanity. They had given humanity 50 years to become unstoppable. And somewhere beyond Earth's orbit, the engines of 1 million human warships ignited together. The stars themselves seemed to tremble. The war for the galaxy had begun. The return of humanity shattered the balance of the galaxy. Within hours, panic spread faster than light. Trade routes closed. Civilian transports fled to the outer systems. The Galactic Stock Exchange collapsed in a single day. Every news channel broadcast the same headline: "Humanity has returned." The 7 ruling empires immediately declared a state of emergency. Inside the Grand Council chamber, the Supreme Chancellor slammed his fist onto the table. "We destroyed Earth. We watched it burn. So tell me, how are they still alive?" No one answered. The room was silent. Finally, Admiral Varric, commander of the Imperial Fleet, spoke. "We underestimated them." The Chancellor's face turned cold. "No, we made a bigger mistake. We gave them 50 years. The first human move. Across the galaxy, billions expected humanity to begin bombing planets. They expected revenge, genocide, chaos. Instead, humanity did something no one saw coming. General Ethan Cross issued a galaxy-wide transmission. It was broadcast to every civilian, every soldier, and every government. His message was simple. "We are not at war with innocent people. We are at war with those who ordered Earth's destruction. If you do not raise a weapon against humanity, you have nothing to fear." The broadcast stunned the galaxy. Even alien civilians who had been taught to hate humans were confused. One elderly alien woman, watching the broadcast, whispered, "They're protecting us?" Operation Justice. Instead of attacking cities, human fleets struck only military targets. The first objective was Fortress Karen, the largest weapons factory in the Orion Empire. It was protected by 20,000 warships and the most advanced planetary shield ever built. The Orion Emperor laughed when he heard humans were coming. "They'll never get through." Seconds later, Every screen inside the fortress went black. Then a calm mechanical voice echoed through every corridor. Aegis has entered your network. Doors locked. Defense cannons shut down. Missile silos refused to launch. The shield generator powered off by itself. Panic spread instantly. What happened? Who hacked us? Before anyone found the answer, a single human battleship appeared above the planet. Just one. The Orion commander laughed. One ship. That's all humanity sent. The captain of the human ship smiled. One is enough. A blue beam shot silently toward the fortress. There was no explosion, no fire. The massive military complex simply disappeared. Every weapon, every bunker, every warship in orbit, gone. The nearby city remained completely untouched. Not a single civilian building was damaged. Across the galaxy, military analysts replayed the footage thousands of times. They couldn't understand it. Humanity possessed weapons powerful enough to erase entire planets. Yet they chose precision over destruction. The truth is revealed. Minutes later, Aegis hacked the Galactic Council's secret archives. Millions of classified files appeared on every public screen in the galaxy. The recordings showed the truth. The secret meeting, the vote, the order to destroy Earth. Every face, every voice, every lie. Billions of citizens watched in horror as their own rulers admitted they feared humanity's peaceful progress. For decades, governments had claimed humans attacked first. Now the evidence proved the opposite. The galaxy had been lied to. Mass protests erupted across hundreds of worlds. Soldiers abandoned their posts. Entire fleets refused to obey imperial orders. Statues of the seven emperors were torn down. One by one, planets declared independence. The Galactic Alliance was collapsing from within, the Chancellor's last hope. Deep beneath the Grand Council Palace, the Supreme Chancellor entered a chamber that had remained sealed for centuries. Only 7 people in the galaxy knew it existed. In the center of the room stood a black crystal. Ancient, cold, alive. The Chancellor placed his hand upon it. I need your help. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then, the crystal began to glow. A voice echoed through the darkness. A voice that did not belong to any living creature. Humanity has returned, just as the prophecy foretold. The Chancellor fell to one knee. What are your orders? The voice answered with terrifying calm. Awaken, the devourer. The chamber shook violently. Somewhere beyond the edge of the known galaxy, something ancient opened its eyes. General Ethan Cross had won the first battle, but he had unknowingly awakened an enemy far older and far more dangerous than the 7 empires themselves. The combined fleet of humanity and its new allies drifted silently at the edge of the galaxy. More than 3 million warships stood ready. For the first time in history, humans and aliens fought side by side. There were no empires, no borders, only one mission: survive. Ahead of them, the Devourer continued moving through space. Entire stars disappeared into its endless darkness. Planets crumbled without a single explosion. It didn't conquer worlds. It erased them. General Ethan Cross stood on the bridge of the HFS Resurrection, studying the ancient records recovered from the Black Crystal. Dr. Sarah Chun looked up from the data. We found something. Cross turned. The Builders fought the Devourer millions of years ago, and they never defeated it. The bridge fell silent. Then how did they survive? Dr. Chin zoomed in on an ancient star map. They didn't. They trapped it. Another message appeared. The Devourer cannot be destroyed. It can only be imprisoned. Cross looked at the center of the map. One location was highlighted. Earth. Dr. Chin whispered. The core beneath Earth wasn't built to power humanity. It was built to become a prison. Cross understood immediately. If the core engine reached maximum output, it could create a galaxy-sized energy cage around the Devourer. But there was a cost. The entire core would collapse. Earth would never be habitable again. The home humanity had fought to save would be lost forever. Cross opened a broadcast to every human and every allied civilization. My friends, we finally know how to end this. We can save the galaxy. but Earth will be gone.